Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space. And let's get right into it today. One take, uncut. This video is going to be a must see. So please sit down, relax, put it on 2x speed if I'm talking too slow, and pay close attention here. So we're going to be going in depth over two documents, one found by Darren Moore again, and this is Fame 21 More, and then the other provided to me by Damor Sahami. Guys, do not send me any tips. If anyone deserves any tips for their great research and information that they've provided, it's these two. All right, without further ado, let's get into this. So as we can see, and I want to point out this, and this is just absolutely crazy. So I know many of you know this, and many have already researched for several years at this point, and they understand who Jeremy Light is as well. And this was actually when he was managing director at Accenture Payment Service. Again, Accenture helping all of these groups with their DLT digital transformation. This is an actual ACI worldwide document. Funny enough, we're going to go over a document that Mr. Jeremy Light also created. Check this out. He created this right here, strategic accounts at Ripple. So digital assets and payments, building the internet of value. And interestingly enough, you guys, highly recommend you look at his LinkedIn as well. I'm not too familiar with this gentleman, but again, guys, I appreciate everybody that helps me and puts all these dots together. This is absolutely massive. All right, so ACI worldwide, we already know, big deal. They are roughly $14 trillion per day in terms of settlement, as we can see here. Trillions of dollars, guys. For example, and this is just for fun, not financial advice, but remember Susan Athey, board of director at Ripple, and they did create this type of valuation model. Again, a fundamental valuation framework for crypto assets. Excuse me, and again, right here, Susan Athey, board of directors, Ripple, and then Robert Mitchnick. And this gentleman ended up leaving Ripple, and now he's lead of blockchain at, guess who? BlackRock. 7 trillion, give or take, assets under management. So this little calculator, you can play with this, plug in these numbers to figure out the potential future value of XRP based off of the market volume, what it's sending, days between transactions, store of value, and you can just kind of play and get various numbers and kind of see with the market adoption. So just wanted to show you that, and this is literally XRP price calculator. You can find it on allinxrp.com. Okay, let's go from the start. So stay with me. I'm going over some very important information here, all right, regarding Interledger Protocol, XRP, IOV, you know the deal. So we're going to go over this first. So this is XRP Darren again, Fame 21 More. And right here, Ripple and XRP overview. We're going to breeze through this because this was back from February 2018. And again, Dilip Rao, now he's retired, but formerly global head of infrastructure innovation at Ripple. So I basically just want to touch on this point, the $27 trillion number that we keep seeing. Okay, so this is referring to payment float, of course. And what we're talking about float, I'd imagine this is regarding a remittance float. And basically this means the time it takes for a payment you're sending or receiving to process. So if you send a wire transfer that's taking 7 to 10 days, for instance, that amount of time it takes to deposit the money into the recipient's account is the remittance float. So again, XRapid, but now it is called on-demand liquidity, uses exclusively XRP. So on-demand liquidity. So the problem today with the payment infrastructure is there's delayed settlement results in trapped cash. So the issue is we're holding tons of dormant capital, these pre-funded accounts, these Nostro accounts in various types of currencies around the globe. That's, highly inefficient. I think it's time to kind of revamp the financial system, and these adjustments have been taking place over time. If you guys think that this is just happening overnight, it's not. There's tons of work going on behind the scenes, way beyond just mere regulations. I'll have to do a future video on, the terms of, leveling the playing field and all of that we're seeing everywhere. So right here, XRapid, again, now it's on-demand liquidity, which is XRP, guys, eliminates pre-funding and destination currencies. So for example, we see, let's see, US dollar, Brazilian real. I believe this is the Ukrainian hryvnia, I think. This is the Central African franc. We got the Australian dollar, Thai baht, Japanese yen. So again, no need for pre-funding, instantaneous settlements, okay? All with the XRP ledger. Okay, and with here, liquidity on demand, there is no float. So instead of holding, 15 different types of currencies, we can just have XRP in the center here. They're all sourcing their liquidity on demand when they need it instantaneously, guys. With on-demand liquidity, rather than 2 to 6 days, it's taking maybe 2 to 3 minutes altogether. That's revolutionary. All right. So again, opportunity cost to capital, when the payment's lost, the capital costs, the human costs, the intervention required to find the payments, if they even can. There's just so many things. Okay. Now, this is a cool document. Again, blockchain.unsw.edu.au. And this is just going over XRP if you guys want to better understand it. I'm not going to bore you with it. You already know the benefits if you've been around here for a while. You can see even, the cost case. So on-demand liquidity in XRP, speed, minutes versus days, of course. That's the current system. And if it used Bitcoin or Ethereum, which, are awesome, they're not going to solve the payments problem. Now, I think Ethereum with its dApps built up on top of it, it's going to be awesome, as provided that it scales, maybe makes that migration to proof of stake awesome. But in terms of costs, even for foreign exchange costs, you can see the, number of basis points here. It's not really solving the issue at hand. But again, with XRapid combined with XRP, and then don't even get me started on Interledger Protocol or ILP, it's, there's no question about it. Look at this. So again, Swift, you can see the charges, cost of maintaining the Nostro account. That's trillions of dollars sitting idle. Certainty, there's no confirmation. The messaging is crap. We'll talk about, Swift GPI. And again, that's kind of the competitor to Xcurrent. I believe that there's many more people integrated with RippleNet, but they may not be using it to what we think. Right? With XRapid, we're having bidirectional messaging again, or not XRapid, Xcurrent. But I'm not really worried about that. We're looking at this cost that still exists if they use Swift GPI or Xcurrent. We need them to use, again, XRP, which is on-demand liquidity. Right? We can even see the fee structure. Look at this, 0.001 cents is the average network fee for XRP, and then $10 average network fee between, Bitcoin and Ethereum transaction. No comparison. All right, they're talking about, the first few people that, groups and financial institutions that used XRapid, and I'll use XRapid and ODL interchangeably, so be patient. But again, look, even 2 to 3 minutes at the fraction of a cost. Now, this is what I really like to explain. So modernizing payments infrastructure. So we can see this kind of hierarchy of payments, for example. And now we see the overlay services. We can see, again, banks and then NBFIs, guys. For those of you that do not know, these are essentially kind of non-banking financial institutions, We can see the rule sets. Again, and then the cool thing is with Ripple the company, or we can use Swift GPI for that matter, it's bidirectional messaging, okay? But what's awesome and revolutionary is shared settlements infrastructure. Again, this ledger is going to be distributed. There's not one single central point of failure. There's not one single kind of validator. There's, less systemic risk. There's going to be plenty of benefits as we are moving towards this internet of value. Okay? We can see here interoperability, again, connecting with other national platforms to spur regional economies. Now, this is not only other blockchains, which is kind of an issue today, connecting other blockchains. We also have to be able to, just connect to other networks as a whole. And we'll kind of go over that. National payments, immediate, payments plus cross-border platform for cyber resilience. Okay. And then digital assets, experiment with digital or crypto assets on private or public distributed ledger technologies. All right, and they're kind of talking about consensus, versus their proof of work. And we've already kind of gone over the benefits again. We've heard, the famous phrase, proof of work does not work. And just so you guys know, I'm for Bitcoin, I'm for Ethereum, but I am just most bullish on XRP due to the problem that it is aiming to solve. If you guys don't realize the kind of top-down approach that they're working with the regulators from the start, they're buddies with Steve Mnuchin. There's no doubt in my mind. Various people. What is it? Stuart Alderati. There's so many connections with these guys. So please just go down the rabbit hole. When I invest in businesses, when I invest in, digital assets and open source protocols, it's awesome to get sold a dream, but I'm investing in the people that are working on this project. That's something you have to keep in mind. XRP validators, Microsoft right there, for example, shouldn't be surprising. And now I'm going to kind of speed through this, and now let's talk about this. Now, this is shared to me again by Damor Sahami, guys. This guy does some great research. He did work a lot with the folks at Love for Crypto with Kurt and Scott. He, honestly, guys, he's kind of unknown, and he doesn't get a lot of credit, especially for all of the level the playing field vernacular that we've kind of come to know the past few years. So definitely, just kind of giving him a shout out and thanking him for all the research he's provided as well. All right, let's get into the good stuff. So Jeremy Lights, again, right here, also authored by this, and this was a really cool document again, talking about real-time payments with ACI worldwide. And again, Accenture's helping them to no surprise. Keep in mind, Accenture is helping R3, Swift, and Ripple. Okay, so let's see where we want to go from here. I believe page 7, if memory serves me correct. Again, just showing all of the, production contracts of a Ripple if you guys want to ever check this out. Anyone that says this is a scam it's the biggest joke to me ever. Pay no mind. Come back and check this channel out in a few years. All right. So Internet of Value, enabling, the world to move money like information moves today. So seamlessly reducing the friction from global payments. Okay, let me kind of zoom out here. Now, what's at stake? So cross-border payments are at $27 trillion and growing. Now, by 2026, and this was from 2017, we're looking at $47 trillion in terms of a market. Now, keep in mind, cross-border payments is only but one of the basic, markets that XRP is aiming to tackle. They said they're not going to be focusing on other initiatives until they have the cross-border basically on lock and it's guaranteed. Then why on earth do we have full-time engineers from Logos Network that was acquired to be building types of platforms and applications for decentralized finance in the derivatives market? We've talked about this. This is measured in the hundreds of trillions, if not, 1.2 quadrillion on the high end of derivatives. Again, much of it is intangible. There's many analysts, and that's on the high end of the estimate. So when you guys see, these silly price predictions of $100 XRP, well over $50 or like $2,000 XRP, you guys can say it's far-fetched, and I'm not going to tell you, I know exactly when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. I'm just saying, XRP is worth a hell of a lot more than 20 cents. Okay, so again, when you're using this valuation model, even here, ACI worldwide, 14 trillion per day, Swift, 5 trillion. It's a little more than that, arguably now with inflation. But again, this was created by two very reputable people. Okay. So you guys can play with the numbers. You can take into account the circulating supply of XRP, and you can always see that, kind of on CoinMarketCap. Not my favorite website, but for example, sometimes it's increasing. But if you guys really believe the 55 or 50 billion XRP that are in escrow is just for Ripple, I don't know what to tell you. There's so much going on right now, and I believe we're in for a massive surprise by end of year. For those of you that are actually paying attention and doing daily research with the AIIB, the Bank of International Settlements, the International Monetary Fund, and I don't care, if you guys disagree with me, we're just going to have to kind of learn to respect our different beliefs, but I do believe that R3 with Corda Settler and utilizing and somehow plugging directly into Swift GPI will play a massive role in the future. I know there's those talks, last year about, R3 being bought out by Ripple. Who knows? I don't care. I don't care what companies acquire who. I care about XRP utility for high value transactions. So it is simply a matter of time. All right, now let me see if I'm missing anything, and I'm going to keep going, okay? So again, by 2026, $47 trillion market. Okay, you can see this trend. Notice we keep moving, kind of talking to the current state of blockchain. We understand, the T model, we need, different types of assets, and potentially different types of blockchains, different types of, utility. So again, Ethereum, Tezos, Chainlink, VeChain, whatever your project is, Cardano, it doesn't matter. I believe that everything that, solves a real problem can potentially thrive and solve a real purpose. I just think, for example, and this is, not just my opinion, we see on CoinMarketCap alone, let me see, over 5,400 cryptocurrencies, well over 5,000. I think when all is said and done, we're going to be closer to like 100 actual cryptocurrencies that are alive and do well. I don't think 5,000. We don't need 5,000 to solve, the various amount of problems. Now, there's going to be a bunch of intranetworks and maybe, different cryptocurrencies, but if they're permissioned, they're not really, open sourced cryptocurrencies like we see here. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Let's see. Okay. Current state of blockchain, reconciliation. Again, R3 with Spunta coming towards end of year. They got reconciliation check. What's the next step? Settlement. And I think that's what we're in for a news, coming around Q4. Right? We can see blockchain use cases. And interestingly enough, we can kind of see where XRP plays a role. Remember, with kind of the electronic cars, the payment mechanisms there. I just think XRP will basically be one of the foundational currencies for payments. Anything else that actually has, real-time data or decentralized oracles like Chainlink, that's awesome. I hold those assets and I'm hoping for the best. But in my opinion, I just think it's a done deal for the payments problem. Securities, STOs, it's really interesting how XTZ Tezos has kind of taken that niche. I do find it fascinating. And once this initial liquidity is set up, the world of trade finance will really, really take off, guys. The capital markets are where the big boys and the institutional money truly resides. We know with, R3 and various groups with syndicated lending, kind of group lending, especially on a decentralized or more distributed way, crowdfunding, smart contracts, there's going to be so much. All right, so right here, payment networks are disconnected. We get it. We have bank networks, we have blockchains, we have mobile money and mobile networks and wallets, we have online wallets. They can't really connect and communicate. There's not a single standard of interoperability. So what do we need to do? Again, costly. And we've seen this number anywhere from 2 trillion. Now we have 10 trillion, for example. And then we've seen it as high as about $27 trillion of that capital that's trapped around the globe. We see 6% of payments fail entirely. Okay, this is global payments, guys. And then slow 3 to 5 days. Just imagine if your email failed 6% of the time. Just imagine you were calling your friend and your call or text didn't go through 6% of the time. Ridiculous. This is why we need to basically innovate and fix this. And this is why there will be some version of a new updated financial system. This is not conspiracy. This is fact. What do you think this real-time payment platform system is domestically here in the United States? Now the question is, will digital assets play a role? And I believe that's the case. And the question is, how much of a role? And which ones will survive? Okay? You can see here today's customer demands, no delays or failures, obviously, elegant experience in UX, of course, on-demand real-time, yeah, low cost and expensive, absolutely. All right, and of course, don't even get me started on the benefits that DLT can provide with atomic swaps and trust and sourcing liquidity 24/7, 365. Just to know, it's a no-brainer, truly. Okay, so now talking about this problem again, blockchains can't communicate. Enter ILP. Again, open source protocol, gifted to the W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium, 275 contributors, blockchain companies, consulting companies. We got some tech giants. We have some of the top central banks, guys. Ripple, again, already working and connected with about the top 40 to 50 central banks of the world. It's just no question in my mind. The question is, when and how much? Okay. Now with ILP, provided we have a, true interoperability, we can see banks, blockchains, mobile money, online wallets, all interacting, transacting, communicating seamlessly. Right? A level playing field that can use any digital asset, any crypto, whatever you want. It'll simply be the best option for that use case. Really cool. And I'm going to kind of go over that as well. So please stick around. All right, so path to adoption, we get it. You guys can kind of look at this if you want to later. And again, this was retweeted. I'll retweet it after this video and provide these in the top of the description. And again, digital assets plus interledger payments equals the Internet of Value. So we need, again, a ledger. Okay, XRPL potentially serves a role. We have an interoperability protocol, ILP, and then, of course, the native digital asset on the XRPL, XRP. This is what can create the Internet of Value. And the funny thing is, this doesn't necessarily have to be the entire backbone of the IOV. It could actually just serve, 1%, 10% of the volume, or even just a little market. There's so much value. Remember, the Internet of Value, it's not the Internet of small value. They've been asked, well, what's the market, that they're targeting? All the money, all the value, all the commercial real estate, all the securities, all the derivatives. Real estate is $217 trillion. You do the math. Does that ever get transacted? Does it ever get transacted globally? What about lending? What about collateralized debt positions? You see my point? We are early. All right, even right here, ACI. And again, this was sent to me by Demore. So we can see, for example, so this is on page 3, and we're just looking at ACI, universal payments. We've seen all of, the kind of the connections. Now we're seeing exactly what kind of Ripple's been talking about. Okay, straight through processing, flexibility, integration. We can see processes domestic and international multi-bank, multi-currency payments from a single cost-effective platform. Really reminds me of Earthport. Again, partnered with Visa. Don't even need to explain that. Visa straight out said that, yes, we want to team up with Ripple to essentially replace SWIFT. But it's all on the hush-hush. Okay? Reduces the risk through, exchange of intraday and end of payments. We can keep going. Okay? And it's all just about this type of payment hub that we're seeing. Okay? And again, ACI, 14 trillion each day in payments. No question. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about Joel Katz, aka David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple. And I'm going to go over some screenshots and things he's talked about with the level playing field. And again, this is all sent to me by Damore. So thank you, sir. And this is Damore, DAM00R. Give him a follow on Twitter. All right, so here we go. First one. This was over 1 year ago. So Ripple's strategy is to work with others to build protocols and technologies to allow any asset to bridge any payment on a level playing field. Then it will work to make XRP competitive on that level playing field. All right. Next, we need universal interoperability because that eliminates the tyranny of network effects. We saw this with the internet. Every ISP, internet service provider, gets you the same websites, so they have to compete on price, service, and so on. The only reason to oppose it is if you think that the preferred outcome or your preferred outcome will lose in a fair fight. Universal interoperability is a level playing field. I love that. So if they decide to use some, utility settlement token and they kind of force it, that means that they're worried that XRP or some other asset would be better, and kind of admitting it. It's, really comical to me, but that's very true, and I like that perspective. With a universal interoperability protocol, you won't need to hold assets on systems you don't like, even if you need to pay people who only want those assets. Right here, ILP will create a massive level playing field for systems to compete for use cases, just as TCP did. If XRP cannot win on a level playing field, it deserves to lose. Our strategy is not to trick or force people to use XRP. Period. You don't see them begging to retail investors. We're not their market. This is for the big boys. This is for real institutional money. I do hold XLM, not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. All entertainment purposes only, guys. But I do hold XLM in the hopes that it could be kind of the silver to XRP's gold and potentially take some of the retail markets or, of course, the Stellar Foundations onto some great things. I do keep up with them. I'm just personally more bullish long-term on XRP. But XLM, to me, is kind of a hedge just in case, they kind of switch up. Because they both have use, applications for cross-border use cases. All right, right here, if we lose on a level playing field, it will be because we deserve to. I can live with that. Priority one is building a better system, right? And then last but not least, ILP, again, interledger protocol, interledger between ledgers, it connects them, allows XRP and all other assets to be used for payments and held for settlement wherever they work best. This levels the playing field and improves the usability of cryptos for everyone. So ILP being available on more platforms is good for XRP because it enables more applications to have the choice to use XRP if it works best for them. And it's good for XRP because it grows the space by allowing projects to choose an asset that's a better fit, even if not XRP. Do you see what we're saying? Everything's still going to be tokenized, guys. We want competition to drive innovation, just like anything. For example, with Ford and Tesla, electronic cars, now we have other manufacturers and we have other groups trying to engage and help build products and services around the electric car industry rather than just Tesla, driving the innovation in the need. Now we have multiple groups competing and creating more utility and customers. Another point is right here is that ILP, unlike many other blockchain interoperability protocols, can easily bridge cryptocurrencies to non-blockchain payment systems, as I've already said. Connecting cryptocurrencies directly to the trillions of dollars in legacy fiat assets is very good for cryptos. ILP, these interoperability protocols, whether it's XRP or anything, there's going to be many that are used. Many. And I think that's great because we're going to see tokenization, the benefits that come with it, and it's all good, guys. I think we're all on the same side. If you are in the space and you're a Bitcoin maxi, you love Ethereum, you hate XRP, maybe you're more bullish on a microcap coin, I wish you the best. We're on the same side. All right, last but not least, and again, David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple. So the point of XRP, at least, as far as Ripple's use case is concerned, is to settle institutional payments using an open digital asset with liquidity that anyone can contribute to and draw off of. It's to put banks on the same playing field as non-banks. The internet grew largely due to the efforts of the government, the military, and many institutions, but they built a reasonably level playing field that everyone now enjoys providing information to and consuming information on. It's the same model. Again, it's not kind of like Bitcoin where it starts off with retail people. We started from the top down, just like the internet came to be. I kind of went over this in previous videos as well, and I know David Schwartz often does in other podcasts, and I kind of love this analogy. Right here, trying to cut out the military, the government, or institutions from the early internet, or we could say Bitcoin, for example, would have been a huge mistake. A lot of its early growth was catalyzed by these players. Absolutely. Again, guys, I'm going to put these links in the description again. So we got XRP Darren sharing the use cases by Dilla Parao. And again, this is what, like 2018. And then we also are going to have this document by Jeremy Light of Ripple. So with that, guys, also we have, links in the description. We have a 27% discount, I believe, for anyone that gets the family pack with the Ledger Nanos. Again, store your cryptos off exchanges and secure them so you own them, not your private keys, not your crypto. We have, the tax-free crypto Roth IRAs down below. Shout out to Jamie XRP, Mikey, Crypto Beginner, Philip, Miles, Ken Melendez, and all other top channel members. Appreciate all of you that hit the like button, share this video around, and until next time.